Hi there, welcome on behalf of the project brainlabs.ru, where we aim to maximise the development of human cognitive abilities. Many have heard that narcotic drugs like cocaine significantly raise dopamine levels in the brain. Dopamine, mind you, is the main concentration driver and enhancer, if I may say so. But drugs throw off our internal balance and cause serious side effects. So often the question arises how to boost dopamine without causing addiction and so on. Ladasten, or adamantyl brompheniramine, or Bromantane, is considered an anti-asthenic agent. Asthenia is a general weakness of the body, lack of energy. It also affects the brain by boosting cognitive performance. How does Bromantane work? Bromantane, as a substance, directly affects the motivation hormone dopamine by increasing its level in the brain, thereby increasing the subjective value of goal achievement. This drug causes one to experience an increased need to put ideas into action, to take steps to more quickly accomplish plans. This effect is achieved by a dopamine boost. Its gentle effect makes the person gradually improve their life, all the while thinking that they achieved it on their own. There is a saying, to change your life, change your habits. Any habit, in its essence, is dopamine binding of a person. An action takes place, you expect a reward for performing it. You get the reward, the action is reinforced and takes less effort next time you perform it. With constructive habits whose positive effect is more distant, the person suffers from a lack of motivation, causing laziness and procrastination. Bromantane allows to overcome this transitional period with significantly less effort by increasing motivation. Bromantane on its own won't give you a high. You will feel pleasure in the process of moving towards the goal. If your goal involves giving up bad habits, then the substance will increase the satisfaction of abstinence and ordinary joys. The substance has no narcotic effect. Now a little more about how Bromantane works. 1. Increasing the synthesis of the neurotransmitter dopamine and inhibiting its reuptake. Not to be confused with the action on receptors. Dopamine synthesis occurs through the tyrosine hydroxylase reaction, which speeds up. We can say this is an indirect method and therefore safe, whereas, say, amphetamine sends the dopamine valve into overdrive. 2. Increasing the activity of GABA, gamma-aminobutyric acid. To be more precise, it inhibits GABA reuptake. The first 2 points are from the instructions. If you delve deeper, you can find more interesting actions. 3. Inhibition of histone deacetylase. This is a difficult point, but the most interesting. Studies show that these inhibitors are potent enhancers of intelligence and especially memory in mice. They even cite a list of substances that the mice took. So far, nothing has been tested on people, so this topic may be a dangerous one. In short, histone deacetylase inhibitors are among anti-cancer drugs that work in the cell's nucleus with DNA. They contribute to the process of memory reconsolidation, accelerated memorization of new information, or forgetting old memories. The study was published in January 2014 in the International Cell Journal. Ladasten reduces the activity of the first type of histone deacetylase, which means that at the DNA level it works with memory. 4. Effect on neurotrophic factors. Growth and protection of nerve cells. 5. Synaptic plasticity. Promotes better transformation of short-term information in long-term, or in scientific terms, turns short-term potentiation of synaptic transmission into its longer form. Beneficial effect on gestation and fetal development in rats. Still, pregnant women better not take it. Bromantane was available until recently in Russian pharmacies. It was quite popular and often prescribed for asthenia and for overall effect. Here is some info from the official patient information leaflet. The medicine Ladasten instruction defines how a derivative of adamantane, which has a positive effect on the indices of the mental and physical working capacity of a person. The action of this agent is effectively combined with anxiolytic activating immunostimulating effect, as well as the so-called elements of actoprotective activity. From the latter, by the way, the increase in the patient's endurance to various physical loads depends directly. It should be specially noted that during use of the drug Ladasten, the instruction confirms this, practically no hyperstimulation phenomena are observed, and such undesirable consequences as, for example, depletion of functional capabilities are not noted. In this case, this kind of condition is often recorded in patients taking traditional psychostimulant drugs. Among other things, the pill Ladasten does not have a muscle relaxant and hypnosuitive properties, as well as addictive potential. Mechanism of action of the drug. The activity of the drug is due to an increased ejection from the presynaptic terminals of the neurotransmitter dopamine, blockade of the process of its reuptake and stimulation of biosynthesis. In addition, it should be said about the modulating effect of the drug Ladasten. The instruction draws special attention to this, to the GABA benzodiazepine chloroform complex, which eliminates the decrease in benzodiazepine receptions observed in stressful situations. Also, this drug significantly stimulates GABAergic mediation, at times reducing the expression of the gene responsible for the synthesis of GABA transporter, which performs reverse capture of the mediator. After ingestion of the drug, the time to achieve its highest concentration in the patient's blood averages from 2 to 4 hours, with a maximum of 363 ng per milliliter. As for the half-life of the drug, then, as a rule, it varies within 11 to 12 hours. Speaking about the features of the therapeutic effect of the Ladasten tablets, it should be noted that in patients with various anxiety, asthenic and asthenic disorders, the positive effect begins to manifest itself from the first days of their use, in the form of a clear reduction of somatovegetative manifestations, emotional stress, and asthenic symptoms. In addition, this drug contributes to a rapid increase in endurance and recovery of activity. Side effects. With adequate dosage and regime, side effects are rare. Contraindications are quite standard for this category of drugs. Pregnancy, lactation, age under 18. Reception course. The course of 2 to 4 weeks to 200 mg per day divided into 2 to 3 doses. Also, the manufacturer is concerned that you may get on a dopamine roll and not fall asleep, so don't take it later than 1600 hours. I would also like to add that the action is immediate, with clinical effects occurring already in 3 days. Effects. Reduced asthenia. A sample of more than 700 people, duration 28 days. The findings show a pronounced clinical effect in anxiety depressive disorders, vegetative dystonia syndrome and sleep disorders. Lack of overstimulation, no direct action on norepinephrine and adrenaline. No dependency. Ladasten accelerates processes associated with dopamine production and blocks its reuptake. Concentration. Again, one of the main effects of dopamine. This also includes motivation. When I want to do something, dopamine thinking. Improved memory, especially in terms of transformation from short-term to long-term. So Bromantane pumps up dopamine and some GABA. This makes it similar to Phenibut, only in the latter the emphasis is on GABA, and in Bromantane it is dopamine. Combinations with other substances are extremely diverse. I personally really liked the mix of 200 mg of Ladasten, 200 mg of phenotropil, and 300 mg of caffeine per day. As far as side effects go, it was very difficult to fall asleep, so keep in mind that if you are going to focus on dopamine stimulation attention, in the evening you need at least glycine, some 2 to 3 grams. If you add DMAA, you get dopamine plus norepinephrine, in theory a very strong bundle. Pyrocetam with lecithin give you dopamine plus acetylcholine. In a nutshell, Ladasten is a creativity booster, some kind of nootropic alchemy. Conclusion. Ladasten, anti-asthenic nootropic. Works more through dopamine, to a lesser extent GABA. Effects. Mood improvement, memory enhancement, improved ability to concentrate. No side effects like overstimulation or dependence. It starts to act immediately. There is no cumulative effect, therefore you don't need to take a full course, but rather use it as some kind of a phenotropil turbo button. The instruction prescribes a course of up to 28 days, up to 200 mg per day, although some online reviews mention Bromantane courses of 60 to 90 days. This said, tolerance does not develop. There are no obvious contraindications against combining it with other substances, but you have to fully realize that abusing sedatives may make you either have trouble falling asleep or zone out, so stay wise if you are to manipulate substances. And yes, no later than 1600 hours, or else tomorrow will come today. Good luck and see you soon.